Yo, good evening everybody. It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with another cheeky little Manchester United news video for you. Transfer news, latest goings on with the takeover, etc. We're going to get into it all in this video. And we're going to be doing these regularly again, and especially when the transfer window is officially open, we'll be doing the daily videos again, giving you all the latest news in regards to the transfer window. So it's getting to that time of year again, folks, where you'll be seeing a lot of me. And we'll be talking about all the potential transfer news and dealings that are going to be going on at Manchester United, including the takeover, which is probably going to be the biggest piece of transfer news, if that's what you want to call it, this summer anyway, hopefully. So get in there. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Welcome aboard the stream. Do us a favour at the start of this show, though. Give us a like on the video. Smash that thumbs up button. Or if you're on catch up later, hit the likes. Also, give us a share around. You can retweet us. We pinned the tweet to the top of the live chat there. So give us a cheeky little retweet, everybody, if you can. Every little helps. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button if it's your first time on the stream as well. Get yourself involved in the chat and say hello with your thoughts and opinions throughout the show. We've got plenty to get into. We always have a big Q&A at the end of the show, so stick around for that and have your say throughout. We'll dip in and out of the live chat and see what you legends have got to say for yourselves as well. But welcome in everybody. Ezio, Balkanski, Diogo, Uwan, Nikolai Lindquist, Chris Koo, Duke of Frodtown, Tad Bates, Nash, Red Gold, Great White, Philip Chapman, Jason the Cool Kid, Prestonian Mackham, Rush Marno, Kevin Kilban, Nath Alanazi, and everybody. Thank you for getting in here for the stream. So as you can see by the title of the stream, guys, we're going to be discussing, amongst other things, the potential of Neymar to Manchester United in the summer. Now, me personally, just to kick things off with, I'm not really bothered about Neymar, to be honest. He's an absolute fucking diving little prima donna crybaby melter, isn't he? Come on, let's be honest. Do we really need another player like that? He is a fantastic player, don't get me wrong. He's in probably the top 10 players in the world in terms of pure talent. But talent only gets you so far. And he's a proper prima donna melt job, isn't he? PSG fans don't like him. They don't want him anywhere near their gaff, mate. There's a good reason for that. It's because he's a prima donna melt stick. So me personally, you know, I'm not that bothered about it. If it happens, fair enough, because if it's part of a new regime at Manchester United, i.e. new owners like Sheikh Jassim, that would like to bring in a big star player like Neymar, who they happen to love, then that would be absolutely fine by me, I suppose. But it's not really the prime position I think we need to strengthen. He is predominantly a winger. Obviously, you know, in Manchester United, we've got Rashford in the left wing position. We just need to get a proper striker. But I wouldn't turn it down. I have got a little poll running throughout the show, guys, as you can see. So have a little vote on the poll. The question is simply, would you take Neymar at United? I'll ask the live chat now, actually, guys. Just get a yes or no in the chat. Would you want Neymar at United? But also have a little vote on the poll question, and we'll see what you legends are saying about this topic at the end of the show. No, says Rufus Sausage and Great White. Yes, all day, says Samaconda. No, says Ezio, Nick, FJT, Joshua, Jason, Duncan. Yes, says Rajon and Uwan. No, says Kieran and Chloe Jenkins. Mark Coughlin says no. Red Gold says yes. Pretty split in the chat there. I thought it would be, to be honest. I thought it would be. Hey there, Griffo. He says, we've got the now, Rashford, Anthony and Sancho. We've got the future, Garnacho, Dilo and Pellistri. We've got no need for Neymar. I love that. I'm with you as well, you know. His best days are perhaps beyond him. Plus, he is, as I mentioned, a bit of a prima donna meltbag. He's still an effective player. He's still a top player. If we have a look at his stats from the last season in League One, this season, this current season, he's played 20 times. He's scored 13 goals and got 11 assists. Now, that is 24 goal contributions in 20 games. Pretty impressive. Apart from, it's in a fecking Farmers League, guys. And he's playing up against people who do literally drive ploughs and combine harvesters every other week. Yeah, there's some good teams in League One, but most of them are chewing on a piece of straw come the end of the game. You know what I mean? With a straw hat on, playing a banjo. These are not necessarily top-tier players and top-tier teams that he's coming up against, so it doesn't impress me all that much. Look at how PSG do in the Champions League. They're always bottle jobs. They've got a team of absolute stars, yet none of them have got the bollocks to get them to, you know, a trophy there in that regard. 6 games this season in the Champions League, 2 goals, 3 assists. Look, nobody's denying Neymar is a quality player. Of course, he's been Brazil's talisman for a decade or so, 124 caps for Brazil, 77 goals. We're talking about a class player, but he's 31 now. For a winger, you know, for a left winger, his best days are beyond him probably. He's still got a couple of years at the absolute top, I'm sure. But it depends really. If it's just for a season-long loan, which is what maybe is being bandied around at the moment. So L'Equipe and various different other outlets are reporting that there's a possibility that Manchester United could take him on a season-long loan. If it was a loan, that would make me feel a lot better about the whole situation because, well, we haven't got much risk involved there. We don't get lumbered with this overpaid prima donna Melto who doesn't really want to be here, like Alexis Sanchez or another situation like that. We don't want that. We only want people who want to be here. If it's for a season on loan for him to play in the Premier League and see what that's all about, then fair enough. So according to L'Equipe in France, he's being seriously considered by Manchester United. We're going to get into the varying different stories and reports that are coming out. And there is a lot of varying reports on this whole Neymar situation. I think it's probably just guff, to be honest. But in regards to what L'Equipe are reporting and various different outlets, they're suggesting that Manchester United have begun talks in regards to Neymar. So as you can see here from L'Equipe, talks between PSG and Manchester United have started for Neymar Jr., as reported by L'Equipe. Now, what does that really mean? I mean, there's certainly no possibility, I don't think, of the Glazers shithouses being interested in bringing in a player like Neymar. So if this is true, if it is true, then perhaps it's an indicator of what lies ahead for Manchester United and the potential new owners. Maybe it would be a Sheikh Jassim deal. Maybe this would be where we're at with that whole situation, because I can't see the Glazers wanting to spend any money whatsoever at this moment in time when we've got to try and, when they want to try and sell the football club. So in regards to Neymar going to Manchester United, it's possible, I suppose, if it's in a loan capacity or if we've got new owners coming in that really have some sort of vested interest in loving Neymar and bringing Neymar to the football club. But I just don't really see it, guys. I think it's kind of BS. Also, Casemiro reportedly has been trying to convince Neymar to join Man United. This is also from L'Equipe. So take it with a pinch of salt, guys, in my opinion. But that is what is being said, and that's what's being reported this evening. That's what's being bandied around. So there's other alternative reports that state this. Mark Ogden reporting this evening to say that Manchester United aren't pushing a deal for Neymar. Not the current regime anyway. So, this was at 8:30 p.m. He thinks that United are not currently looking or pushing for a deal with Neymar. But, as I did mention, that I guess there is a possibility that if we have got new owners sort of arranged to come in, i.e. Sheikh Jassim, and they've got this hard-on for Neymar, let's say it how it is, they've got this hard-on for Neymar, then maybe they could be sort of orchestrating things from afar. It seems pretty far-fetched to me, guys, but that's basically where we're at with the whole Neymar situation. And just to clarify here, shout out to the main man, Rushmano, transfers _UTD on Twitter, says there's only one owner who loves Neymar, Sheikh Jassim bin Ahmed Al Thani. So, there you go. If we are going to get Jassim, maybe these crazy deals like Neymar could happen. But if not, if we're stuck with the Glazers shithouses, I don't really see how it really can happen, guys, because they're not going to want to do that. And even if we were to get, say, Sir Jim Ratcliffe in, who nobody wants, then I don't really see that being that feasible of a situation either, because Neymar's like a big, huge prima donna, ego, marquee signing type player, isn't he? And I just don't really see us doing that unless we did have someone like Sheikh Jassim come in. If we get Sheikh Jassim in, maybe we could get Neymar, maybe we could get Mbappe. Maybe we could do some crazy deals if they're prepared to spend huge money. And you've got that sort of level of ambition at the football club to try and win things and actually make this club as good as it could possibly be. But until that day comes, I think this is all just paper talk, to be fair, guys. Let's just be clear about that. So, yes, it would be lovely to see a top player come into the club. I mean, I'm not overly bothered about Neymar, as I mentioned. I think he's a bit of a prima donna melter. But if we were to sign players of that caliber, there's nothing wrong with that, is there? We need to be striving for the best players in the world and trying to make Manchester United great again. And it could maybe happen with the new owners coming in. So we'll see what happens in regards to Neymar if that materialises, guys. And as I mentioned, here's Alex Turk reporting that previous reports have claimed that Sheikh Jassim's was eyeing Neymar if United takeover bid was successful. All just sort of paper talk sort of stuff. But I mean, it's possible, I suppose, guys. Let us know what you think. Smash a 1 in the chat if you think that United are actually interested in signing Neymar. Or smash a 2 if you think it's just absolute paper talk guff. Let us know what you think. I'm probably in the 2 camp because, yeah, I mean, we haven't even got new owners in just yet. unless Sheikh Jassim really has put the feelers out early doors, and it seems like it's a matter of time before this deal is done with the Glazers selling to Sheikh Jassim, and they want to get the ball rolling for the summer transfer window. I just don't really see how we can really determine who we're going to be bringing in this summer at this stage. It's still a little bit early, isn't it? Yeah, lots of twos coming in the live chat. So yeah, definitely number 2. I'm with you guys. So yeah, there you go, guys. Neymar to Manchester United. Is it realistic? Not really. Is it even wanted by the fan base? Not really. Would it cost a huge amount of money? It would. Does it make some commercial sense? Yes, I guess, to get Brazil's best player of the last decade. I guess it would do. Brazil's a big market. We've already got Fred and Anthony and these guys. We've got a bit of a Brazilian contingent at Manchester United. Casemiro. We've got a big Brazilian contingent at Manchester United already. So would it hurt us commercially to have a big player like Neymar come for a season-long loan? No, it would sell a lot of shirts over in South America, I'm sure, and it would be a good bit of business in that sense. But the most important thing at the football club should be making the football team as best as it can be. And bringing in diving Tom Daley wannabes is probably not the best way to go over and do that. I mean, he's 31 now. We've got Rashford. We need a striker. We've got Anthony. We've got players like Sancho, who, okay, he's been gashed, but he's still a winger player that's not going anywhere because nobody's stupid enough to pay him what we pay him. We've got players like Garnacho, who's coming through on that left side, who's absolutely awesome. We've got players on the other side, Palistri and these guys that are coming through. We don't really want to hinder the development of those players. I've said this many times in recent weeks, but the wide areas, in my opinion, although, yeah, okay, you can always strengthen there, we haven't got maybe the best depth there in some capacity. We've got depth. We haven't got like world-class players in that position coming out of our ears, but we do have Rashford, who, if he's actually playing in the left wing position, is fantastic for us. We've got on the other side, we've got Anthony and Sancho with Palistri backing him up, and then you've got players like Sancho who can play on the left, and we've got obviously Garnacho who can play on the left as well. So it's not really the wide positions, in my opinion, that are the big problem areas. We need to get a proper number 9 striker in there to bag us some goals, i.e. somebody in the mould of a Harry Kane or a Victor Osimhen or a Kylian Mbappe or something like that. That's really where we need to be spending the money and trying to convince a player to come. It never hurts to improve on what you've got, though. But would Neymar really be the answer to our problems? I don't think so, guys. I think he would just be a bit of a... He's a classic sort of Glazer signing, shithousery signing he would be. Commercial guff. It's not really what we want. So, yeah, we've got to focus on getting the problem areas of our team sorted out, the midfield, the defence, and, of course, getting a proper striker or two. That's where I want to see the money spent. Neymar, as we said, his statistics are very impressive for what he's done over his career, but he's 31 now. He's getting on a little bit. As a winger, his best days are probably behind him. Thank you very much for getting in here with a super chat there. Lookout Tower Radio, bro. Let's go. Let's get a cheeky little hell yeah in the chat for Lookout Tower. He says, we don't need the Brazilian Gary Lineker at United. The Brazilian Gary Lineker? I've never heard that one before, to be honest with you. Why is that then? Because he's a cheese and onion cheesy bastard? What's that all about, Lookout? Oh, because he cries. I get it. I get it now. Because he's a crybaby. I see. I get it now. Nice one. Right, anyway. No, fair enough. Thank you very much for that there, Lookout Tower Radio. Yeah, we don't really need him, do we? Hey, Andy Bell, thanks for your highlighted member comment here. He says we need a 5, an 8, and a 9. Damn right, exactly. We don't really need Neymar. That's a fair point as well. I'm with you as well, guys. Yeah, he's a crybaby, says Lookout Tower. Did you mean Gascoigne? Because Gascoigne's more known to be a crybaby than Gary Lineker. Did you mean Gaza? I don't know. But either way, I know what you're saying. He's a crybaby. He's a diver. The Brazilian Tom Daley. The Brazilian Gascoigne in terms of crying. Don't know. He is a crybaby, mate. And I don't think that's exactly what we need to get in at the moment. By the way, what's the score? Very quickly, guys. What's the score in the Newcastle game? It's still 0-0. Go on, Leicester. Let's go. Leicester away from home at Newcastle tonight, guys. Hopefully they can snatch a couple of points at the least off of Newcastle tonight. That'd be brilliant. Thank you, Luan France. It's 0-0. Thank you very much. Andy Bell, thank you for your gifted membership there, bro, and making TK1958 a member of the channel. Welcome in, TK1958. Let's get your favourite Bacon Brigade emoji to celebrate that. And thank you very much, Andy Bell. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you so much for gifting membership out there, dude. Andy Bell, everyone. Let's get a bell emoji in there like your name was Quasimodo. Esmeralda the bells. Thank you, Andy. Legend, mate. Also, take a second, everyone, if you're just getting in here. We got 100 legends tuning in. Smash that like button on the video if you haven't done so. Help us get to 100 likes on this stream live. And also, get your thoughts and opinions in throughout the show. We're going to get into the chat and stuff in a bit throughout as we go. But yes, so we're going to cover all the latest transfer news and all the latest goings on. It's not just about this Neymar guff. I think it is just generally a bit of a, it's bit of paper talk nonsense, to be fair, guys. But we'll have to wait and see. L'Equipe claim that several Premier League clubs have entered into talks with PSG relating to Neymar. And I could actually see, personally, if he was going to go to a Premier League side next season, I think the most likely would be the club we just mentioned, which is Newcastle United. I just got a feeling that they would probably forget about all the crybaby guff. Maybe Eddie Howe would be too clever to let somebody like that with a big ego like that want to go and do it. But they got all the money over there at Newcastle United. They're trying to sort of take that next step. They're going to be in the Champions League next season. So, if you think about that, it's like Newcastle United probably is a better fit for Neymar right now than Manchester United. They're in the Champions League. It's a bit of a project. They could probably spend an exorbitant amount of money on it just to raise the profile of the club a little bit around the world. It's not a bad investment in that sense. Man United doesn't need its profile raising in terms of global recognition, does it? But Newcastle United, well, they're a huge club, obviously, but yeah, that wouldn't hurt them in that sense to have Brazil's talisman in their team. They've already got Bruno G. And it wouldn't hurt them at all to have Neymar in the club. So I think he'd probably be most likely to end up there. But there are a few reported teams that are interested in taking him from the Premier League. I'll ask the live chat, guys, where do you think Neymar plays his football next season? Will it be at PSG? It seems like the PSG fan base doesn't really like Neymar too much at this moment in time. And also Chelsea are reported to be monitoring the situation as well and interested in taking Neymar as well. And that is a better fit, I think, just because Chelsea are a proper shithouse football club who go and sign shithouse players and are a bunch of shithouses. So it kind of makes sense for them to go and get a shithouse like Neymar Jr. in their football club. So I think Chelsea's a good prospect as well. But let's see what your legends are saying. Leicester says United forever. PSG says Nick Stevenson. Chelsea says Duncan Belifo. Bournemouth says Alex Core. Tottenham says Chris Koo. Neymar will go to Chelsea, says United till I die. The thing is, though, if Neymar wants to be playing in the top tournaments, i.e. the Champions League, well, Chelsea aren't going to be able to offer him that next season. There's no European football there for him at Chelsea next season because they're absolutely in the fucking mud this year, aren't they? Bottle jobbing it big time. So if he wants to play in the Champions League, he's got to go to a team like United or Newcastle. If he doesn't care about that and he's just going for an experience, then yeah, Chelsea makes a bit of sense. Wrexham says Fitness Balance. Boomy says he will play football on Nike ads. He won't get any club. Anywhere but United, says Luan France. He will go to Liverpool, says Vincent Bullock. I don't know about that. Again, if he's going to go to Liverpool, he's not going to have Champions League football, is he? Piss off, Scousers. Get in there, my son. Well, we still need to get 1 point, but pretty much. But anyway, so it does hinder them. It hinders some of these football clubs not having Champions League football to be able to, bring in the top tier players. If Neymar wants to continue playing Champions League football every single year, which he did do at Barcelona, which he has done at PSG, then he's going to have to go to a Champions League worthy team. And teams like Chelsea next season and Liverpool next season, well, they're not going to have the Champions League football. So I think it's probably more likely he goes to a team like Newcastle or even United if that was actually on the table. But I just don't think we're in for him. I think we've got bigger fish to fry in different positions in the team. I think the number 9 striker position makes a lot more sense for United to go and spend the big money on and big wages on. And also just other areas in the team. The midfield, the defence are more important for us to strengthen than shitty Neymar, to be honest. But there you go. That is a big report coming out this evening, guys. And as I say, reports are that players like Casemiro in our team trying to convince Neymar to come. It's probably all rubbish again from L'Equipe. And we'll see. But the French and Brazilian media are both reporting as of today that PSG want him gone. So PSG no longer want to keep him. That's the reports that are coming out anyway. That he's not liked by the fan base. They're pissed off with his antics. They see him as an egotistical, diving little melter who's on too much money with no substance. So we don't really want a player like that anyway, if you ask me. If PSG don't want somebody, I think that's red flags right there, you know. That's real big red flags right there. It's not a player that I would like to see come in. So it's a big no from me, Carol, in regards to maybe bringing in Neymar. Yeah, get Neymar, you get his sister too, says Chloe Jenkins. Peter says, I also saw Dutch media reporting talks between PSG and United. Yep, so they're at it in the Netherlands as well. So they're reporting it in Brazil, they're reporting it in France. And so, you know, it's a possibility, but I just don't really think it's that realistic. But you never know, don't rule it out. That's why we're talking about it on this channel. It's an interesting topic, it's an interesting talking point. We don't really get on here and talk about too much of the guff stuff. But this is borderline guff, absolutely. But it is being reported by big French outlets and Brazilian media reporting that Neymar is in talks with, or not Neymar, but Manchester United are in talks with PSG about the potential for maybe taking Neymar on loan next season. Which leads me on to my next sort of point, really, folks, which is the whole situation with the takeover and whether or not we can get the owners in soon, because we have got a transfer window that's going to open up very, very soon. And we want to be doing business early doors. We don't want to have to wait months for the shithouse Glazers. Can we just get hashtag Glazers out in the live chat, by the way? So I don't know if you've seen this story before I get onto that, actually. I don't know if you've seen this story about the cost of travel. Avram Glazer's 2 visits to Wembley this season. They've come at a significant cost to Manchester United. The club paid £250,000 for private jets, taking Glazers from Florida to England for the Carabao Cup final, and the same price and mode of travel for the Women's FA Cup final. I mean, what the fuck, mate? Why is this wank chops billing the football club 250k for him to fly his grubby ass over to watch the club that he pretends to care about? Why isn't he getting his own means of transport and travel over here at his cost, out of his pocket? Why is it the club that's fronting the bill for his travel? That pisses me off, that does, guys. That really pisses me off. This is classic Glazer shithousery. Just billing the football club, spending the money from the club generates on needless stuff, lavish transport, you know, lavish private jets and things like that, which we're having to pay for. It's bullshit, mate. Hashtag Glazers out. Honestly, that sort of thing just really winds me up. So, you know, we've got to get these guys out the football club so we can start planning for the new season. But just stuff like this, when it comes out, really does highlight the shithousery of these guys. You know, just from a PR standpoint, they should be making their own way to the football club. Get your own private jet. You know, if you want to fly private, mate, get your own fucking private jet over and pay for it yourself. Don't have the football club pay for it. You know, and then that's coming out of our coffers. That's what really annoys me, guys. So that's the sort of people we're dealing with. We need to get new owners in this football club. The latest situation with Jassim and, of course, Jim is very much it's at a head, really. It's a similar sort of situation. The Glazers are taking their good time on it, aren't they? Will there be a 5th bid from Sheikh Jassim? I don't know, but at the moment we're still up in the air around about that. There's even reports coming out that Sheikh Jassim, if he is unsuccessful at buying Manchester United, he still wants to get in the Premier League and with a football team, and he may be interested in buying a lower football team, but obviously he wants Manchester United. But he may be interested in buying another football team in the Premier League, which would be a bit of a disaster for Manchester United, because it would mean that there would be another football team that's got huge money bags, and we're stuck with Sir Jim, who's going to be another Glazer-style scrimper. It's not really what we need, guys. So, you know, that's really where it's at. We're just waiting for more information in regards to the takeover. Will there be an announcement? Will there be a handover very, very soon? Hopefully, because we need to start planning for the new season, obviously. And we're not going to be able to dip into the transfer window until there's new owners here, really. I mean, maybe they'll sign 1 or 2 players at the start of the window, just cheaper ones. But in regards to having ambition and showing sort of where you are trying to take this club in a direction and planning properly for the season, you need to have the new owners in here so they can actually start planning, and you have a plan of action for who's going to be our transfers targets for this summer transfer window and how are we going to go and get them. Obviously, Ten Hag will have in his mind who he wants, who he would perhaps like to bring in, and there'll be a scouting network still at Manchester United as well, which will be relaying some recommendations and information to Ten Hag and the coaching staff and that kind of thing. But ultimately, how can we pull the trigger on signing players when we don't even know who the owners are going to be in the summer transfer window? So it's a nightmare, man. It's all up in the air. We just got to wait and see who is going to be here, how it's going to materialize, and how much money we're going to have to spend, because there will be a few different pots in regards to the outcomes. You know, it's like take this envelope, and they're all vastly different. So, like, if the Glazers shithouses just decide to stay for a bit longer and weed out as much money as they can long term, they don't care. We're probably not going to spend much money at all. If we get, say, Sir Jim Ratcliffe in and the Glazers are still on board, they'll want to show some sort of ambition, even though maybe it's probably Glazers Mark II for the future. But they'll certainly spend money, I think, in the first window just to show, hey, look, we are actually going to do business here. But I don't think they'll do what Sheikh Jassim would do, which would be potentially spend hundreds of millions of pounds on players and then some on all other areas of the football club as well. So Sheikh Jassim is like the super rich option, the sugar daddy option, the option that makes Manchester United great again in the shortest amount of time. Sir Jim's like the middle of the road option, budgeting, classic carrying on. And then the Glazer is just a nightmare situation. We don't even want to talk about that. It's not realistic anyway. I think the Glazers are going to sell the football club sooner rather than later. Let's just hope so. But yeah, thank you, Great White. Yes, get Glazers out in the live chat, guys, because it's getting a bit silly, this style. We were hoping this would be wrapped up soon. It's not looking like it necessarily will be, and we still don't know who is going to be in charge when it comes to the new season, or how much budget we'll have, or who's going to be overseeing things in terms of the ambitious transfer window or unambitious transfer window that we could potentially have. So yeah, there you go, guys. But we know that the Glazers are shithouses. I'm pointing the wrong way, but as per this, which this report from Laurie Whitwell suggests that you know, the Glazers are at it again with spending 250k on private jets to go to the games and putting it through Manchester United and having them pay for the travel. I mean, that disgusts me, guys. Absolutely disgusts me. But in regards to, you know, transfers and other dealings and other news that we've potentially got that we could bring in the summer, there's a little bit of rumblings going on. But as I say, I don't think we will have a proper plan of action just yet until we've decided what's going to happen. And yes, absolutely, Rush Mano. So, you know, there are reports that Sir Jim and Sheikh Jassim in particular, should I say, Sheikh Jassim would be interested in taking West Ham. There were loads of reports over the last couple of days that if it's unsuccessful at Manchester United, then he would maybe look to go and buy West Ham. But as this report says from Ben Jacobs, that it's understood that Sheikh Jassim is not considering West Ham if unsuccessful in buying Manchester United. The 9-2 Foundation haven't made any approach or even discussed with West Ham internally. However, the idea is that if they were unsuccessful with Manchester United and the Glazers wanted to stay on with the shithouses and Sir Jim Ratcliffe was to come in and work with those guys, then then obviously Sheikh Jassim may look elsewhere. And if that was the case, then you have another Premier League club like Newcastle United, who all of a sudden have all the money in the world and are going to be another competitor for Manchester United. And with us scrimping potentially going forward, if we were to get Sir Jim, just doesn't look good. So we really don't want Sir Jim. We need to get Sheikh Jassim, guys. It's that simple. Plus, Sheikh Jassim wants to buy the whole football club. He wants to buy the whole shebang. Sir Jim just wants a controlling stake, 51% of the football club, and keeping potentially the shithouse Glazers on board in some capacity, with them having about 20% of the football club. Fuck that. That's all I'm saying about that, guys. We don't want that. So it would be horrible if that happened. If Sir Jim gets the club and Sheikh Jassim goes and buys West Ham or a different football club, I think we've really missed a trick there, guys. This is our future we're talking about. This is our football club. This is the difference between being one of the world's greatest teams and just carrying on the sort of fourth place guff that we've been going for every single season. And, you know, it's a better season this season. We've won a trophy. We're in an FA Cup final and Ten Hag's done really well. But if you want to be the team that we should be, which is the best team in the country, we've got the most titles. We've got the best history. We should be the best team when it comes to having ambition and facilities and absolute state of the art. That's where Manchester United should be. And we will only be that, I think, if we end up with Sheikh Jassim. So it's Sheikh Jassim or nothing, in my opinion, guys. Let's get a hashtag Sheikh Jassim in and a hashtag Glazers out in the live chat. Right, we're going to get on to the next topic in a second, guys. But before I do, I'm just going to ask you all once again to smash that like button. We're nearly at 100 likes. We've got to smash 100 likes on this stream. So smash the like button. Let's have a little Bacon Brigade like spike. Also, give us a retweet. If you're on Twitter, it's pinned to the top. We will shout out everyone that helps us spread the word of the show. Later on, at the end of the show, we'll shout everyone out. So give us a retweet on Twitter if you haven't done so. It's pinned to the top of the chat. And of course, if you're new to this channel right now, if it's your first time here, make sure you hit the subscribe button and get your thoughts and opinions into the chat. In regards to transfer news, there is a little bit of stuff going on elsewhere. It's not just the Neymar guff. There are reports that Mohamed Kudus is also on the agenda with Ajax links and Ten Hag vibes. David Ornstein reporting that Mohamed Kudus has made Ajax aware of his intention to leave the club in the summer. A deal is expected to require about £40 million. Man United, Arsenal and Newcastle are among those tracking Kudus as well, is the latest report. So, you know, again, I don't want to get too hung up on who will be coming in at this stage, because I genuinely don't think it's worth talking about at the moment because of the fact that, well, you know, we haven't got new owners yet. And until that's all wrapped up, we don't really have a clear action plan. So Mohamed Kudus, yeah, nice one. Cool. Could be. I mean, it's more likely than a Neymar guffer because, let's face it, there will be a budget for Ten Hag this summer. And Ten Hag knows all about Ajax. And Ten Hag, you know, has probably earmarked certain players that he wants to go and get, whoever is the owners of Manchester United. There'll be a few players that he probably would love to get in a dream scenario that we might be able to get if Sheikh Jassim's here. But if not, then there will be a few players that he's already got his eye on. Absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, it's not beyond the realms of possibility we could sign one or two cheaper sort of players near the start of the transfer window. But I don't really think that we're going to be doing much business until all this whole takeover deal is sorted out. So, yeah, Kudus, there you go. And also, just a report as well coming out today that Nottingham Forest want to sign Dean Henderson in a possible £30 million deal from Manchester United, guys. So, yeah, I could see that happening as well. He's on far too much money at Manchester United. It doesn't really make sense for us to keep loaning this guy out. So, yeah, I could imagine that Hendo will be sold in this summer transfer window, guys, especially if De Gea is going to sign a new contract. I don't see Henderson really taking over the number one spot from him. I don't think De Gea is going to leave. And I don't think Henderson's got the ability to just come in and do the job that De Gea's been doing. De Gea is actually class, isn't he? Like, yeah, he's made a few errors this season. So does every goalkeeper. He's won the Golden Glove this season in the Premier League, by the way. He can't be that shit. And it's not like Manchester United have had the most rock-solid defence. If you look at the goals we conceded. I mean, you know, Newcastle have conceded the least goals. Manchester United, we still had a bit of a ropey season in terms of defensively. We've established a great defensive partnership in the likes of Martinez and Varane when it's fit and available. But it's not like De Gea's just coasted to the Golden Glove this season, not at all. He's had a good season, a really good season, in fact. He's just made a few errors in a few high-profile games, and that means people just get on the hatred wagon and just want him gone. But for me, David De Gea is still the daddy around these parts, and we should definitely keep him. Now, okay, if Ten Hag wants to play with a different sort of goalkeeper going forward and we sign somebody else, a ball-playing goalkeeper, if you want to call it that, i.e. somebody who's better with their feet, then okay, distribution-wise is a big concern for De Gea. But I don't think that's the position in the team we should be looking to strengthen straight away. It's the striker position, the midfield, and the centre-back, etc., as we talked about. So, yeah, De Gea stays, in my opinion. We'll see what goes on there with a new contract, etc. But Henderson, guys. Henderson, keep or sell Henderson. What's your thoughts on Dino? Keep or sell Dean Henderson. What are you saying? In my opinion, it's a sell. I would get rid of him just because I think he's pretty pointless. He's on big money. I think he's on 120k a week, isn't he, guys? At United, which is absolutely redonkulous. So it just makes no sense for us to be paying a backup goalkeeper that. He's not even... You know, he's made errors this season. He's had a lot of errors, high-profile errors this season as well. So it's like, well, you know, he's not the answer for me. Sell, says Duncan. Flog him, says Fitness Balance and Alex and Iceman and Gav Dog and United Till I Die and everybody else as well. Get him out, says T-Mill. Bye-bye, Hendo, says Liman. Yeah, there you go. So Henderson just not really the answer to take over from David De Gea. There's probably a few goalkeepers in world football that we could go and get that would actually do a better job than David De Gea. I'm not saying he's the absolute numero uno, but for Man United, he's been fantastic for over a decade. There's only a few that I would feel comfortable going to replace De Gea, which means we've got to spend big money on a goalkeeper. Is that wise at the moment when we've got such big problems in the outfield positions? Not really. I think De Gea's earned another cheeky couple of years at the football club, to be fair, guys. So in regards to De Gea, what do you reckon, guys? Keep or sell David De Gea? It's a big keep from me because who are you going to go and get, guys? There's only a few players maybe you could realistically go and get. There's the Courtois of this world, the ter Stegens of this world. There's a handful, but most of them they're just going to do more or less the same as what De Gea's doing really at the football club, which is being one of the best goalkeepers around. De Gea's one of the best goalkeepers around. He might not be the best distributor, he might not be the best with his feet, but when it comes to just being a goalkeeper, he is very good. Okay, a lot of people saying Keat, yeah, nice one. I'm glad we're on the same page with that, most of us guys. Okay, so that's a little bit of news that's come out in regards to Henderson. Hopefully that's true and we could sell the guy. Rushy thinks it's time for De Gea to go. Sell him, says Lewis. Sell him 100%, says Duke. Sell, says Lookout Tower. Interesting. Well, a lot of people, it's a bit split in regards to De Gea because a lot of people think that his time is now, like Rushy's just said, because of his contract being so much, 350k a week. It's just ending this summer. Now would be a good time to part ways if you are going to go and get somebody else. But as I've said, we'd have to go and sign one of the top keepers in the world for big money, and that just hinders the amount we can go and spend elsewhere. It's not the position we need to look at strengthening, in my honest, humble opinion. We should be going to spend our money on other areas first and worry about De Gea in a season or two's time. He's been fantastic for us this season. I don't really care what anybody says. He's had a few games that are dodgy, only a few. The rest of the time, he's been absolutely brilliant. Look at the last game against Bournemouth. Now, we've gone away to Bournemouth there, and we should be doing a lot better, really. We did win the game in the end, and we've kept a clean sheet. Why did we keep a clean sheet? Was it because of our defensive awesomeness? Was it because we totally dominated the opposition for chances and played them off the park and controlled the possession and controlled the game? No, it's actually not. We were pretty gash. And if not for De Gea making a few really good saves, then we don't get a clean sheet in that game and we don't get the 3 points. That is a prime example of the sort of performances that he's been putting in that wins us games. His saves are as good as the goals that we haven't been scoring at the top of the pitch. So I think that David De Gea is a massively undervalued player at Manchester United, to be fair. But I do get it, though, why people think now is a good time for him to go. Maybe Ten Hag wants to play with a different sort of goalkeeper and a different style with distribution. And maybe, because his contract's ended and he's on huge money for a goalkeeper, it maybe makes sense to look elsewhere. But that's the only reasons. Other than that, I think he's absolutely class. By the way, let's all laugh at Juventus. Piss off, Juve, you cheating bastards. Well, got to be one of those corrupt teams coming out of Italy, mate. Always getting done for something, aren't they, these scumbags? But reports coming out that breaking Juventus have been handed a deduction of 10 points in Serie A following the verdict from the Federal Court of Appeal after their recent financial scandal. As it stands, they're now 7th in Serie A and have fallen outside the European spot. Get in there, my son. That's what you get for being scumbags. Let's hope that happens with Manchester City, guys. That's all I'm saying. You know, they're cheating scum, and they've actually been punished by the Serie A. You know, why are we not seeing the Premier League punish Manchester City for blatant, and I mean blatant, financial fair play cheating? Why are we not seeing that, guys? Why? I don't understand. What are they going to do? Is it because they're getting paid off? That's the only logical explanation, because everybody knows that they're cheats. They've had 115 different counts of cheating labelled at them, different counts of charges that deem them to maybe have gained an unfair advantage. And if you're gaining unfair advantages against opposition teams that is against the rules and against the law, then you should be punished for it. So why are City just being crowned champions again and doing it 3 years in a row? Why are they? They should have it taken off of them, guys. They should have the points deduction and they should have it taken off of them, guys. And if it's not this season, then it should be the previous 10 seasons. And if it's not the previous 10 seasons, then it should be at least relegation to the fucking championship or something. And if it's not that, then a massive fine with a massive points deduction going for next season. So they can't do the same. Listen, if you cheat in a test and they find out you've cheated, your test results don't count. You don't get an A star anymore. No, you get an F. That's what should happen with Manchester City. They've cheated their way to glory for a long time now. And okay, they're a great team, a great manager, great players, all that stuff. Erling Haaland scored 36 goals, yada, yada, yada. Why, though? Because they've cheated. That's why. That's the fundamental that it comes down to, is they're cheating bastards. So they should have a significant punishment. If Juventus are getting done for a scandal in regards to their financial scandal, let's do Manchester City the Premier League. What are the Premier League waiting for here? We should be seeing Manchester City penalised and punished for their outright blatant cheating, guys. Smash a 1 if you agree. Thank you, Shazad Ahmed, for getting your highlight comment here. Great to see you. How you doing, Shazad? Legend of this channel. Long time, Don. How you doing? 30 months a member. Let's get a hashtag 30 in the live chat. Thank you for supporting this channel for 30 months, Shazad. Seriously, mate. Hope you keep him well. And he says, sell De Gea with him. We won't win the league. Get Mannion or Costa. Interesting that, Shazad Ahmed. Why'd you say that? Sell De Gea with him. We won't win the league. Get Mainan or Costa. Costa looks very good, yeah. I couldn't disagree more with you, Shazad Ahmed. Case in point, we've already won the Premier League with David De Gea. David De Gea has a Premier League winners medal. Okay, we did have Sir Alex Ferguson at the club at the time, and that is a bit of a X factor, isn't it? Sir Alex was the Don. But he's already got a Premier League medal. We were able to do it then, and we had a shit team then, to be honest. It wasn't a great team. And he was only a kid then, really. He's a better goalkeeper now than he was then. So why couldn't we win the league with David De Gea? I think that's incorrect. But fair play to you, Shazad Ahmed. You know, few people definitely agree with you, lad. Few people definitely do agree with you. Hey, Chloe Jenkins, thank you for the £2 super chat. Chloe says the FA won't take on City financially in court. Well, it's a bloody disgrace then. That's what they need to do. They need to be, you know, fine Manchester City the money that it takes to have to take this scumbag club on. It's what they should be doing. Thank you, Aaron says we got 9 retweets. I don't know, Shazad Ahmed. I must admit, I do disagree. I think that De Gea is a great goalkeeper. I think if we really want to look at how many times he saved us this season, it far outweighs, you know, the times he's made errors. And if you want to just look at a goalkeeper's job is to stop the opposition from scoring. So it's not like you're praising a goalkeeper for making, you know, saves. That's your job. As Roy Keane would say, that's your job. But he goes above and beyond in certain games and makes ridiculous world-class saves and has made so many different, you know, match-winning performances this season alone that I think he makes up for his occasional errors. That's my humble opinion. And if the team is good in front of him, I mean, the goalkeeper's always going to be a disjointed player from the team anyway. You've always got different phases of play, and the goalkeeper's not really involved in many of them. Some of the goalkeepers, yes, there is distribution. You know, if you look at like Alisson, Edison, and these guys, they do have better distribution, and they are more comfortable with the ball at their feet, and they just don't make as many errors like that. They're still going to make errors, though. And also, De Gea's shot stopping is second to none. So what he maybe lets you down with, he makes up for in other areas. So I just don't agree. I think David De Gea is still fantastic, and we could definitely win the league with the right team in front of him. You know, it's not necessarily. It doesn't matter about De Gea to the point. The goalkeeper is almost the one player that you could say is disconnected from the rest of the team. As long as he does his job and performs to a great standard, stopping the opposition scoring, then it's on the team to score the goals and win the games. You know, it's like in that game against Sevilla or that game in the league the other day. I can't even remember who we were playing now, where De Gea made that calamity, where he's got that flubber jelly hand. It's like, yeah, we lost that game 1-0 in that game with the flubber jelly hand. It's like, hang on a second, why couldn't we score 2 goals? You know what I mean? Why couldn't we score? We were coming up against inferior opposition. We lost 1-0. Why couldn't we score 2 goals and win the game? You know what I mean? It's got little to do with De Gea. It's the team that was gash. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. Okay. So, right, guys. So there's a little bit of difference going on there. Thank you, Chloe Jenkins, for the super chat there. Appreciate you getting there, by the way. Right, okay. So, yeah, just one last thing is in regards to De Jong. Nobody cares about De Jong, do we? But he's come out yesterday. Fabrizio said Frankie de Jong in last summer anyway. The club was in a difficult situation and they could have sold me for a big fee, but I didn't want to go and stayed. Manchester United spoke with Barca. Even though I wanted to stay, I want to be at Barca for as long as I can. Do want Frankie de Jong, but he's another player that I guess we could see a big circus around this summer if we get new owners in who are prepared to spend. We might see Frankie de Jong come to United. Do you want Frankie de Jong at United, guys? Yes or no? I mean, I do if Ten Hag wants him and we can actually get him and Barcelona aren't going to play us for mugs again. Because if they do, I don't want to deal with another long, protracted summer transfer window of will he, won't he, Frankie de Jong, and all that rubbish. He clearly loves Barcelona, he clearly wants to stay. So, in a way, I don't want somebody that doesn't want to be at Manchester United. But in another way, he's a class player. He could provide us what we need, and Ten Hag clearly wants him. So, there you go. But I'm not bothered either way. Right, anyway. I'm going to get into the live chat now, folks. If you're just joining us, we'll have a little chat and debate. Thank you, everyone who's hit the like button. We have smashed 100 likes on the stream. get in there. Make sure you hit that like button if you haven't done so. Before I get into the live chat, I'm just going to shout out everyone on Twitter who's given us a nice retweet. So thank you everyone for doing so. We've got 11 retweets over here. I'd like to give a shout out to Aaron Homeyard, Kane, Transfers_UTD, Boomy, Harnell, Andy Davidge, Thugger, Abdi Rash, John Greening, Mark, and PSG Relay, who have given us a retweet as well. Thank you very much to you, legends. I appreciate you all. Thank you very much indeed for giving us a retweet, and it helps. And Luan France as well. Thank you, Luan, for getting in there raw as well. Thank you guys for helping spread the word of the show. I appreciate you. Right, let's get into the chat then, legends, and see what you legends got to say for yourselves in regards to this whole Neymar news or the takeover business or anything like that. Have your say in the chat. We're going to read a bunch of comments out, so please do. And Vincent Bullock retweeted us as well. Thank you, Vincent Bullock, and everybody else who's done that. Okay then, let's see what you legends are saying. I'm going to get deep into the chat now, so Q&A time. Have your say. By the way, the poll, we've got a poll running, and interesting enough, we've had 300 votes on the poll. And the poll question was, would you want Neymar at Man United? And 54% of the live chat say yes. 46% say no. That is interesting to me. I mean, he's a classy player, but he's a wank stain if you ask me. So I wouldn't want him, me personally. I'm in the 46% camp. But a lot of people in the live chat clearly do want him at United. He is a class player, but I don't think we need him. I think we need him a lot less than we need, you know, a lot of other players in the team. Get in there, Shazad Ahmed. That's bloody awesome. Newcastle drawing against Leicester. There's 5 minutes. Oh, there's only a few minutes to go in that one. How much added time, guys? So it's just got to the 90th minute. How much added time? That would be a great result for us if Leicester can take a couple of points off of Newcastle, because that could be the difference between us getting third and fourth, obviously, right there. As things stand right now, you know, before this game anyway, we were on the same amount of points with just goal difference of 24 plus for Newcastle separating us. But obviously with this game, it would mean we've still got a game in hand on them, and it just means that it's more likely that we would probably, depending on how we do against Chelsea, if we beat Chelsea, then yeah, we're going to finish third, guys, because I think we'll beat Fulham. So yeah, there you go. There's our incentive to finish third, guys. If Newcastle slip up here, that'd be immense. 5 minutes of extra added time, says Pete Morris. 5 minutes, says Luan France. Nice one. Brilliant. Chloe Jenkins says, what's the story that United are hijacking Rice to Arsenal? I don't think there's too much basis for it. I do think Declan Rice is big time on our transfer list this summer, but only once we've got the right owners in. I don't think he's definitely a player we're going for, because he's going to cost 100 million and maybe even more. You know, West Ham aren't just going to let him go for a reasonable amount. They want paying because he is an absolute top tier talent. He's English, he's homegrown, he's young, and he's class. He is a really good player. I would definitely have him at United, but because of that, I think it's very unrealistic unless we were to get like Sheikh Jassim in there. It just sounds like more paper talk sort of stuff. I really do rate Ndidi as well. Rajat V, yeah, absolutely. Paulinho at Fulham is one player that I'd like to see come in to help out Cassie. United Till I Die says Ollie Watkins would be a decent backup striker, says United Till I Die. Well, maybe as a backup striker, United Till I Die, but we need to focus on getting the big daddy striker in, don't we? The numero uno striker, the proper number 9 who's going to start most of the games for us and score us 25 plus goals a season. That's what we need. If we're to compete with Manchester City and these cheaty clubs who have players like Haaland who are scoring 36 plus goals a season, we need some players who can score at least 20 odd plus goals a season. And then we need other players to chip in. We need goals. And I think we need to go and get proven goal scorers such as a Harry Kane. I know this isn't popular with everyone, but I think Harry Kane would be fantastic for Manchester United. I would love it if we beat them. I would love it if we beat them. Absolutely, Rush Manu. And Shazad says, must play Caicedo is a Manchester United fan. Caicedo would be a great option as well. He's another good player. There's a good few over at Brighton that I would take. Matoma is another one. If we're talking about wingers, I'd rather just see us go and get Matoma, who's mid-20s and has shown bags of potential and is very, very good, than some shithouse like Neymar, to be honest. So there you go. We aren't getting Vinny, says Rash out. That's very much true. Anything to the Kim news? Well, yeah, Thugger. He's another one, isn't he? Kim Min-jae is on the list. He's another one. We have to wait. This is what's so frustrating about this whole situation is we have to sort of wait until we've got new owners before we know exactly what's realistic this summer. And there will be a few different possible transfer kitties available depending on who takes us over. Yeah, that's right, Chris Griffo says Kane is the perfect striker for United. Such an open goal of a transfer. Completely agree with you, bud. Ferguson's quality player, says Shazad Ahmad. Kane and Sesko, says Deasy. Maguire to Newcastle or West Ham would be immense. Rushmano, absolutely. Rice will cost the English tax and United tax. Very true, Lewis Araser. Yeah, you're talking 100 mil for the guy. It's too much. Ethan Davis says Kane is a pointless buy. He only has a few years left at top level. You need to invest money into a player who will be around for years. Couldn't disagree more with you, Ethan Davo. I always think it's important for a team to have a good balance of youth and experience. And why do you want somebody that's young and good that may only get you 12 Premier League goals this season because they're developing, when you can go and get someone who's proven to score 20 plus a season for a shit team like Spurs? You know, it makes sense just for a few seasons. That's all we need is a quick fix in that area to bang the goals in. Look at RVP when we brought him in from Arsenal. Robin Van Persie was exactly what we needed to fire us to the title that season. And that's what he did. That's who we need. Robin Van Persie wasn't here for 10 years. You know what I mean? He was only here for a few seasons and only one of them truly really mattered. So I couldn't disagree more. Chloe Jenkins, thank you for the £2 super chat. Let's go. Full-time 0-0. Get in there. Newcastle have dunked it. They've bottled it, guys. Get in there. Come on. Let's get a cheeky little Sue in the chat there, mate. Newcastle has shat it. Get in there, guys. They dropped 2 points. That's big, that is. That's really, really big, guys, for us getting third place. Man, if Ten Hag finishes third this season, it's just a little extra feather in the hat, isn't it? It's bloody awesome. Get in there, my son. Love it. Chloe Jenkins, thank you for your super chat, by the way. Let's get a hell yeah in for Chloe. She says 69 million plus McSauce for Rice. Moyes would take that. I don't know, you know. I think he'd be more likely to take 65 million and no McTominay. To be honest, because McTominay's absolutely shite. No, I feel you though, Chloe. Yeah, no, we could definitely do some sort of part exchange deal, I suppose, but 69 mil is probably not enough for them. The way David Moyes has been speaking, they want 120 million pounds. He came out a week or so ago and said that he's kind of resigned to the fact that they may lose Rice this summer. But if they do, they want 120 mil. And so I don't really think that, you know, that's enough. Maybe 89 million and somebody like Scott McTominay might get the job done. But I think they're talking like they want a huge amount of money. Newcastle have bottled it. They are in the Champions League, though, and it's been a great season for them. Eddie Howe's my manager of the season, to be fair. He's done a great job. He's exceeded expectations. Ten Hag's up there. If Ten Hag wins the FA Cup, he's probably manager of the season. But right now, yeah, you've got to say that he hasn't even spent all the money that they're blatantly going to spend this summer. Newcastle United have done brilliantly to get Champions League football. Eddie Howe's probably my manager of the season. So respect. They have done well. Count Yorga, thank you for your super sticker. It says sneak peek. Thank you, Count Yorga there. Appreciate that, my man. Get in there. Let's get some love in there for Count Yorga as well, bro. Griffo says, people complaining about Kane's age will be complaining about Casemiro's age. Yeah, exactly. Casemiro's been great for us, and he's great for a few seasons. There's certain signings that you make that are for the long term, and certain signings that you make for quick fixes that do the job now. And Kane could definitely do it for 2 or 3 seasons at the top level still for Manchester United and score a shitload of goals. United Mark says, Kane's not a winner. He's played with England who has depth and quality of Manchester Shotty and he still couldn't win the World Cup or Euros. You know what, though, United Mark? You just answered your own question why he's not a winner. Because he plays for England, mate. And England are fucking bottle merchants. Especially with gash-tastic managers like Gareth Southgate. And he's also a spud. He's never going to win anything being a spud. I mean, that is harsh, isn't it? You know, I'm English. I want the English to win. But it's not like the English have got this gritty winners mentality. We're a bunch of bottle merchants, mate. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you can blame Kane, say that he's not a winner just because he plays for England and Spurs. I think it's more the case of England and Spurs are not winners. Kane could be a winner in the right team, in my opinion. Yeah, Shazad says, Eddie Howe, manager of the season for me. Who's your manager of the season, guys? Just in a non-biased way, I don't think it is Ten Hag. I think he's up there. I do think he's up there. He's done a great job in his first season at United, really. But I think it's probably Eddie Howe who's got the Champions League football with Newcastle, which is a surprise, really. And Gary O'Neill's an interesting shout, Griffo Chaz. Love that. Eddie Howe says United Mark. De Zerbi's a great shout as well to Fiso and Barter, but obviously Potter doing some bits beforehand. Lampard, Gary O'Neill, Tuchel. Emery, though he came in Jan. That's a great shout, Rajat. Yeah, to be fair, he's done brilliantly since he came in. You know what? Old Thomas Frank's done well this season as well, hasn't he? There's been some good ones. Jesse March, Dirty Leeds, says Rushmano. Hopefully Leeds are going down, mate. That'd be lovely. But yeah, great shouts in the live chat there, guys. TJ says Flying Pig manager of the season. Thank you, TJ. Appreciate it. Brighton manager probably. Great shout, Lee McCann. Yeah, he kept it going, didn't he? after Potter, he kept it going and then some. And they actually kicked on. That's a great shout, to be fair. He is a right candidate. I mean, they have got the potential. They could finish above Liverpool. If Liverpool finish if they lose their last game and Brighton win their last two, they will finish 5th. And as it stands right now, they look really good for 6th place. Like, 6th place is almost nailed on for Brighton because Tottenham are shite and they're 4 points behind them and they've played an extra game more than Brighton. And Aston Villa are 3 points behind Brighton, and Brighton have played one less game than Villa as well. So Brighton are basically nailed on for 6th place, and they're a great team. And for them to get Europa League football is a huge achievement. So yeah, it's probably between Brighton and Newcastle, in my opinion, as to who's had the best season there in regards to the expectations. Boomy says, manager of the month, the Southampton manager. He did what we expected him to do, says Boomy. Crippity Klopp says Chloe Jenkins. Yeah, it's definitely not Floppy Cloppy, is it? Hey, you Vootinator says, still so many negative Nelly United fans. In what regard there, Mr. Vooty lad? What regard? Vooty says, oh, hang on, he says, must play. You're saying Eric Ten Hag is not top 3. If we win last 2, he will be. So he will. I mean, I'd say he's in the top 4 managers this season in the Premier League, definitely. I'd say he's in the top 4. I think you've got to look at and say that, well, yeah, Brighton's manager, Newcastle's manager, and, yeah, Unai Emery since he came in. But Ten Hag's right up there. You could say Pep if you really want, but Pep doesn't impress me much because he's a nullifying, boring, cheating bastard. Do you know what I'm saying? So that doesn't impress me that much, and he's got all the resources there, and he's a complete toad of a man. So because of that, yeah, he's not in with a shout, if you ask me. He's expected to do that with the team he's got. So he doesn't get the manager of the season for me. Nowhere near. So, yeah, I think Ten Hag will be in the top 4 impressive managerial seasons in the Premier League, especially if he actually wins the FA Cup and beats City in the final. I think he's the manager of the season because he would have 2 trophies and top 4. That's what more can you ask for in his first season with Glazer Shithouses in charge? Not a lot more. Not a lot more. Yeah, City style's boring, exactly. And they've got the best of everything. You know, he's got 2 good teams that could finish top 4. So screw that guy. Mark Wallace says, what Eric Ten Hag walked into, he has done very well. He has indeed. Certainly one of the best managerial displays this season from any manager, in my opinion. Pep's success is more than just due to money, says Ryan. We've spent a fortune and got nothing for it, says Ryan. United Mark says, I think referees in the Premier League give yellow cards to English players, and if the same offence was made by a foreign player, it would be a red card, says United Mark. Interesting. Yeah, well, maybe so. I don't know. I mean, that's interesting. I mean, Casemiro's definitely been targeted recently, hasn't he? Must play says Pig. Some people want on here called Kane not balanced. That's the most ludicrous thing I've heard. Kane has more assists and better overall play than even Haaland has. I'm with you, must play. I think Kane is a very, very well-balanced player. He's got a great intelligence of his game. He's not just a goal scorer. You're absolutely right. He can drop deep and link up play. He can also assist and get good crosses in. He's a great passer of the ball. I completely agree. United I Die says, give Haaland the same amount of seasons as Kane and he eclipses him, says United I Die. Maybe so. Time will tell. Kane's been doing it consistently for a long time. Haaland looks absolutely ridiculously awesome, to be fair, and that's the reason he's broken the individual goal-scoring record for one single season in the Premier League. But, you know, we'll see if he can repeat that next year. He probably can, but maybe he won't. An injury here, whatever situation can change. Griffo Chaz, maybe so, mate. I might work on an end-of-season award show. That's probably a good idea, bud. Højlund's better than Kane. Yeah, that's an interesting shout. That Hodgson guy, Højlund or whatever, Jamie Robinson from Serie A, though, who's from Denmark, could be a great shout as well as an option for Manchester United. Chloe Jenkins says Kane needs to learn English. United Mark says, I hope United fans' egos don't force United to do another Pogba with Greenwood. Sell him only to Buck Bindern back for double. You what there? Oh, buy him back for double, right? Yeah. Dutch Christ says Jonathan Gallagher wants Ten Hag sacked. I mean, Jonathan Gallagher doesn't know what he's talking about, really, does he? Let's be honest. You know, come on. He's a nice guy, Jonathan Gallagher, but he also talks raw shite. JK United says, hi, Pig. We don't need Neymar at United. We've got enough wingers. Completely agree with you, JK United. I agree with you entirely. Hey, we're nearly at 150 likes, guys. Keep hitting the like button. Let's get this sucker to 150 likes. That would be awesome. Griffo says, host an award show and get Bacon Brigade members to send in a video of them presenting the award or nominating their opinion. That's an interesting shout. Sounds like a lot of effort. That is an interesting shout, Griffo. I like your style. Osman would do better than Haaland, says Matthew Smith. Maybe. Yeah, Højlund and Haaland are very similar, not going to lie, says Boomy. Any love for McLaren this season? Definitely John O'Connor. Yeah, because these guys, McLaren and Benny McCarthy and who else, guys? Yeah, Mitchell van der Gaag. These guys won't get anywhere near the praise that Ten Hag will, but you're absolutely right. They do deserve a lot of praise, mate. You'll be at the match Thursday. Are beautiful, Shane McCarthy. Enjoy, lad. Shane McCarthy, get in there. Roy Griffo Charles says, I should... Yeah, it's bad. My bad for expecting you to do your job. Well, my job is to talk about Manchester United. It's not to get other people on here sending clips and edit them together. I'm not an editor, Griffo Chaz, mate. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm a content creator, but, you know, I like to talk, mate. Do you know what I'm saying? Nathan says, hi, Pig. I got my shirt today. Looks and fits awesome. Thanks again. That's awesome, mate. I'm glad you got it, mate. Get in there. Winner of the last competition. Nathan Gardner, he's got his t-shirt, man. That's awesome, lad. Kate Cadet says, I would only present an award if it's for Cat Slater, and the award would obviously be for Slag of the Season. Who's your Slag of the Season then, Kate Cadet? Well, actually, it's obvious who the Slag of the Season is. The guy whose name we don't mention. Chris Koo says, what you think of Avram at the Women's FA Cup game the other day? He's a shithouse, but he spent 250 grand to go there, mate. What a fucking absolute little rat. And he spent 250 grand on United's books to do that. It's a disgrace. Joy Esegunde, hello, says we need a striker, not a winger, but we are going to need Neymar because United are selling their players. Interesting take. I do think we do need a striker, central midfielder, centre back, more than we need a winger right now. Thank you, Shazad says, hashtag Glazers out, get in there, my son, thank you. Yuwa says it's like you'd like to see Piggy with Holly Willoughby on this morning. Nice one. I like your style. A7 cases, Rice is overpriced, 70 to 80 million max. Totally agree with you as well. You're paying the English tax and the Man United tax as well. There you go. But no, in regards to the Glazers, like you asked, my thoughts on that, I think it's a disgrace. Look at this. Aaron Glazer, 2 visits to Wembley this season have come at the significant cost to Man United. The club paid £250,000 for a private jet taking the Glazer from Florida to England for the Carabao Cup final, and the same price and mode of travel for the Women's FA Cup final. So, you know, what a scumbag. He should be coming in on his own coin. Should be coming in on his own steam, not putting it through Manchester United and getting a lavish trip, you know, paid for by the football club. It's a disgrace. It's just more examples of hashtag Glazer shithousery. Thank you. Hey there, Javon Solomon. What's going on? Ember Glance. I don't like Neymar either. I think he's an absolute little wet lettuce as well, mate. He says Neymar's a cheat. Hate that guy. Yeah, I'm with you, bud. There is no gaming stream tonight, Griffo Chaz. I'm going to take the night off, mate. It's been a long time since we had a night off, so we're going to take Monday night off, mate. That's the plan. Should be back tomorrow night, Tuesday night, with a bit of GTA, lad. Oh, yes. Let's go with that. She only forgave because the money window was getting smaller. The evidence is there. Screw Green with the nasty vile guys. United till I die. Fair play. I'm not getting into that right now. Chris Koo says, why would he be at the game, though? Doesn't make sense. Are they leaving? He just wanted to leech us for more money? I don't know. I think they just want to give off the impression that they care, and maybe also the impression to potential owners that they're not in a rush to sell, to try and squeeze a little bit more cash out if possible. It wouldn't surprise me, mate. Would take Ward-Prowse says Tafiso and Barter. Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, thank you, Kate Cadet. It was a very stressful one, indeed. They want more media attention. That's probably it, says Rajat. Thank you, Johnny. Yes, indeed, mate. Thursday night, we're going to be doing a watch-along for the Chelsea game. Anyway, guys, we are pretty much going to wrap this stream up there. We've waxed lyrical about Neymar. I think it's more paper talk sort of guff anyway. Don't think it's that realistic. It's probably more realistic as a loan capacity, and more realistic if we were to have Sheikh Jassim as the owner. But unless that happens, I just don't think it's that realistic at all. He's probably more likely, if he is going to go to a Premier League club, to go to Newcastle or Chelsea, just because I guess it makes more PR sense for them in some way. Certainly Newcastle, to raise their profile around the world. Maybe it would be good for them to have a season-long load of Neymar and pay exorbitant fee for it. But for Man United, with the wingers that we've got, it doesn't really make all that much sense. We need a striker. So yeah, Rajat says Neymar's girlfriend is very hot looking, says Rajat V. Interesting. Thank you, Griffo Chaz. Appreciate you. Good night to you, my friend. Have a good one. Thiago Silva will sell him to Chelsea, says Chris K. Rushy says Glazers out. Altani in, says Nick Stevenson. Let's get a hashtag Sheikh Jassim in and a hashtag Glazers out to end on. Zeka says Neymar will become a Harry Maguire real quick. I think he's got the potential to be like Alexis Sanchez Mark II if we signed him. I don't want to touch him at all. No, not tonight, Chris Koo. No stream tonight, bud. I'm going to chill tonight, lad. We owe Chelsea a big score, says Rushmano. Yeah, exactly. Neymar's an idiot, says you are. HM, get in there. How you doing? Says, yes, Pig. HM here. Halifax Town were victorious yesterday, in case you were wondering. Oh, get in there, Halifax Town. Come on. That's fucking awesome. No, that is actually awesome. Halifax Town, so like some of my family's from Halifax. So get in there. Little trip down Shibden Park. You know what I'm saying? And the Shea Stadium. But that's awesome. Yeah, so what? That was at Wembley, was it, HM? I hope you had a great day. That's absolutely class. Get in there, Halifax Town. Big dubs. I didn't even know that, you know. I wasn't paying any attention to any of the lower team fixtures at all. But that's bloody awesome. Shout out to Halifax Town. The K Cadet says, I watched the pack opening from last night just before. I can't believe you packed Tots to Stegen 3 times. I was laughing, Piggy. That's a disgrace and a nonsense, K Cadet. It happens. That's EA for you. Right, we're going to finish this stream, guys. We've got to finish this stream right now, guys. But thank you so much for getting in here, yeah? You have a great evening, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. That is the end of this one. Make sure you hit the like button before you go. We've just smashed 150 likes. Thank you, everyone, for hitting the like button. I appreciate it. And subscribe if you're new to the show. Come back after this video is finished and get your thoughts and opinions in regards to, you know, Neymar or the takeover or anything we've discussed in this video. Have your say afterwards. You can come back after in the not live comments and, you know, and have your say, guys. So please do that. And thanks for watching. That's basically going to be it from me. You can check out the website, flyingpigunited.com, for the latest United news. You can get yourself a t-shirt at flyingpigclothing.com. And, you know, thanks for watching. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Kick at Flying Pig United. Just thank you, every single one of you, for getting in here. HM, TJ, Yusha Abdi, Shibden, says HM. Yeah, I was with the hooligan. Fit right in. Get in there. Rushpano says, Pig don't watch no pleb teams. Nick Stevenson, good night there. The Cake Cadet, Boomy, Luan, Chris Koo, Pete Morris, Dutch Christ, Tafiso, Luan, Pete, Wizzy Sam, Rajat V, Paul Holland, Luan, Nick Stevenson, Fayan Palmano, Ninja Starman, Dutch Christ. Get in there, says Jog on Greymar Jr. I completely agree with you, Dutch Christ. Nice summary, lad. Duncan and United Mark and Chris and everybody else, all the members of the channel in green, thank you so much for being members and supporting the channel. And all the legends in blue who are moderators like Luan France, Rushmano, of course, Kate Cadet, Vutinator, Griffo Chaz, all these legends. Thank you for getting in here and moderating the live chat as well. Good night. God bless you all. I'll catch you on the next one. Stay classy. Piggy loves you. One love. Come on, United. Hashtag Sheikh Jassim in. Hashtag Glazers Shithouses out. Do one, you parasitical cancerous toads. We've got a super chat at the end of the stream, though. Quickly from K Cadet, who sent in a £2 super chat. He says 3 times, Piggy. I know, 3 times we got to Stegen packed. It was an absolute joke, K Cadet. I know, what a shambles, mate. Almost as much as a shambles as Manchester City winning the league 3 times in a row, potentially being on for 3 trophies this season because they are cheating bastards, much like EA, lad. So there's some comparisons there. Hashtag City down to the fucking Conference League. See you on the next one, peeps. That's it from me. Piggy loves you. Hello, Dublin Games as well. Welcome in. We're just finishing. Good night. God bless. I'll catch you soon. Like, subscribe, comment. Come back after. Have your say. And I'll catch you on the next one. Good night, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I'm the pig and I'm out of here. And hashtag Glazers out. See you on the next one. Oh, and remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, as this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much.